Jen Mall, and welcome to Nurse Connect. I am an RN and a board-certified nurse coach. I believe that connecting with others is essential to living a happy and fulfilled life, and that sharing our stories not only helps us to heal ourselves, but also helps others by inspiring hope and optimism. I am so grateful to share stories of these incredible nurses on their journey, and I encourage you to find a way to share yours too. Thanks for listening in. Hi, welcome back, everybody. Jen Mall with Nurse Connect podcast, and I've got Janine here with me. Welcome, Janine.
Hello.
You. So I'd love to get started with you sharing a bit about yourself. Maybe how did you get started in nursing all the way up to today? We'll go from there.
Okay, well, it's been a journey, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I started out as a nurse's aide because I separated from my first husband and it was toxic and I needed a good job. I came back to my parents and my dad was like, why don't you just try it? So I did, and I loved being an aide. And then actually, I was taking care of my grandmother who was in hospice, and she looked at me, she goes, you're going to make a great nurse one day. I never told anybody ever that I wanted to be a nurse. She just knew it. She just spoke it into existence for me. And so it actually was about 8 years later, after she passed, my ex left, and I saw an opportunity, and I dove in head first into nursing school. And in the midst of that, I hit burnout and adrenal fatigue, and I got sick, but I pushed through. And then I've been a nurse for about 9 years now. Nice. And I would say about 2 years ago, I heard about the Nurse Coach Collective, went and became a nurse coach. In the midst of that, with personal life, I actually got terminated from my position due to mandates. And then I pushed through and through coaching and new jobs, and I found myself back here and pushing forward. And I just really want to just keep reaching people and connecting with them as a nurse through burnout and life and just everything. So yeah.
You just packed a lot into about a minute describing your last 10 years. So I'd love to back up
because it'll take too long to tell you all the details.
Oh, sounds
we can
good.
Unpack those if you want.
For sure. And when we were talking off camera, we were talking about your job loss during the COVID mandates. Of course, we're recording in 2023, and that both seems so long ago and yet yesterday. So would you mind sharing kind of leading up to your termination of the COVID mandates? What did that look like for you?
So we were all, let's see, I want to say it was 21. We were all on restrictions at work, right? Like everybody's working from home. I was doing case management. And so it was like, okay, this is a little hard. I actually lost a lot of people the first 6 months of being on restrictions because I couldn't see them in their home. I couldn't check on them. And it was very hard. And then I left for actually to have a hysterectomy. And I was on medical leave when I got the mandates that they were going to terminate me if I didn't get the vaccine while on medical leave. And that was I think harder than recovery. And so in the midst of that, I looked at my husband and said, hey, I found the Nurse Coach Collective. And he goes, do it. What could hurt? And so that was my lifeline. And then I came back in October, started class, went back to work. And December, just before Christmas, they told me that you're going to get terminated, but we don't know when. Okay. Submitted exemptions after exemptions after exemptions. And they told me that my religious beliefs were philosophical and that it was not a viable excuse. And I just kind of felt deflated, like my inner core being is not philosophical. We are divine beings and our personal beliefs are not just some string theory, even though that's real too. And it was so hard to face that and the scariness of it all. It just broke my heart. But I knew that if me as a human, as a nurse, I couldn't stand up for my own rights to choose from my own individual body, how would anybody else have the strength to stand up for their own individual rights and their own autonomy as a person?
Right.
As nurses, we honor every patient who comes to us, no matter who they are, what they're going through, their background, their sex, their choices, their diseases, anything. We support each individual human being that comes through our doors, right?
That's our job.
And exactly. We take the Florence Nightingale oath to heal, to protect, to love these people. And for me, standing up against that mandate was not just for me. It wasn't a vax or not vax. That's not the question. That's not the issue. The issue was autonomy and health and freedoms to choose.
Yeah.
I
Right.
have people in my family who chose to get it. I had people in my family who chose not to get it, but they each had the individual choice.
Right.
Can choose to have life-changing surgeries. And some people choose, I don't want to fight this anymore. I don't want to fight cancer. I just want to pass on. It's
That's their
hard to hear
choice.
those hard choices, but that's your individual right as a human being. And
Right.
I'll tell people, I may not agree with what you have chosen for your life and your body, but I will support you and I will fight for you 100% every
Oh,
time. So
wow.
after Christmas break, January came, I got my official termination notice. I tried to fight it again. And February 4th, on my dad's birthday,
Oh my gosh.
I got the official letter. You did not comply. You are out of line. And it was a really angry email to me. And so I took my
Mm,
dad out to dinner. I said, hey, let's go celebrate. I just got terminated from freedom today.
wow. What an incredible perspective you have on that because and I'm sure you went through all the
Oh,
emotions. It
yeah.
wasn't just like, let's celebrate.
No,
I'm
no, it
sure
wasn't.
there was,
The next day, there was a
what
lot
do
of
you
tears.
do? Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
And the anger and the resentment and
yes,
betrayal. I mean, of a,
yes.
because you enjoyed working for this organization
It
before.
was supposed to be my
And
retirement job. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And so to feel like they turned against you and your
It was
own personal
hard.
beliefs. And that has got to have been so devastating. But I love how you have been able to reflect on that and
Yes,
share the importance of it. It was so important to you for your own personal freedoms as well as the
yes,
person coming up behind you and helping
yeah,
them too.
yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
remarkable. Yeah.
And I think the thing that frustrated me the most was they allowed our patients to choose for themselves whether they
Mm,
wanted to or not.
but not
And
you.
but not the nurses who took care of the patients, not the staff
Mm,
that supported the nurses, things like that. And it was so hard. And I'm not going to lie, it was about 2, 3 months of a tailspin. I was
yeah.
unemployed for about 6 months total. And I took out my 401k. I liquidated it to
Mhm.
survive. Um, Without my husband's support, without my family support, you know, you walk this lonely road. If they hadn't supported me, I still would have gone at it, but it would have been a lot more difficult.
Right.
But I know that they made the decision up in corporate because the
Sure.
government made the decision. Everybody
Sure.
made the decision. Everybody was just trying to follow what they thought was best at the
Right.
time,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I think that's the key of this is that each of us needs to do and not judge what we feel
Yes.
is best for ourselves or for our neighbors. And I think that's where I
Mm,
got the most frustrated was people were so angry with me for getting
yeah.
terminated. I'm like, but you didn't lose your job. I did. My
Yeah.
decision didn't affect you at all. You know, my decision did not directly relate to you in any way other than I'm standing here so you still have the freedom to do what you want to do for your life and your body, you
Wow.
know?
Yeah, that's amazing. So you said you were unemployed for almost 6 months.
Yeah.
What happened after that?
So I actually found a company at a different state doing fully remote work.
Okay.
And it was a beautiful company. I mean, it was hard to get hired on because you have to go through the whole licensing process in a different state.
Mm,
And it was
ah,
really expensive to compare to where we were in Ohio. Like
okay.
Ohio, just they're very, very, I don't want to say like it's a kind state. We're just kind of just
Yeah.
chill. We just roll with everything.
Oh,
So the company I went to work with, and I got hired on, and it was a fast-paced job for case management. My caseload exploded. It went from about 50 people to 250, all telephonic. Yeah. It was hard work. It was very intense being a remote,
mm,
out of state person because they'd asked me for locations and doctors, and I'm going. I have
like
to Google Earth.
yeah.
5 states away from me. Hang on a second. But it was still doing the core nursing work. But eventually, it got so hard and so
Mm,
heavy. And actually, so I started with them in like June, July. And
hmm.
then in October, I found out that my previous company had lifted mandates. And I was angry. I was so angry because they hadn't done one in person visit the entire time. And I just thought, this is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Termination for this, but about this new agency. And I was determined to see it through. I had taken
Yeah.
everything I learned as a nurse coach, my personal journey of learning mindfulness and meditation and
Hmm.
self growth had just come with me. And I was just like, my anger doesn't hurt this old agency at all. It
Mm,
just hurts me. My
right.
toxic self is just going to brew into more toxicity. and I have to let that anger go. So I did. And then in November, I found out they were hiring. And the craziest thing happened. I applied for the position.
Wow.
I know. I went to my husband and said, I think I'm going to do something insane. And he goes, more insane than standing up for a mandate. I said, how would you feel if I went back to the company that terminated me? And he goes, oh, I don't know. What do you want to do? And I said, well, I'd have flexibility. I'd have a little more freedom with the
Mm-hmm.
job, but mostly my stress levels would go down. And he goes, your stress levels would go down? Apply, see what happens.
Oh, sounds like a
So
wonderful man.
yes, he is such an amazing. We'll be married for 7 years in September. So
Awesome.
yes, he's wonderful. So I actually went back to them. They hired me on the spot because they knew
Wow.
who I was prior to the mandates.
Yeah.
The mandates
And
don't define who we are as a person.
right.
It's
No,
just
but did you
one
struggle
fictional.
at all with some of that old anger, resentment, frustration?
Yes.
Did you have any of that kind of come back as you were transitioning back in the
Oh,
role?
well, actually, that came up in October. There was about a 2 week
Mm,
stretch where I had to do a lot of breath work and I had to do a lot of sitting with myself because that anger bubbled up hard. And I was so
yeah.
angry with them. I mean, it was just like reliving the old wound just bubbled back up,
Yes.
right? And so then going back to them, I'd actually released a lot of the anger prior to the application.
Ah.
So I was actually able to look at the position of how can I serve them
Mm-hmm.
but protect myself because it's not for the agency, it's not for the company, it's for my people that I left behind, it's for my
Mm,
coworkers, it's for myself.
yes.
And I think going back, I know a lot of nurses wouldn't go back because that hurt is just so real and so
Sure.
palpable. But for me, I needed to go back and heal that wound. And
Wow.
going back was just kind of like I will say, there's times where I'm just like, what the heck have I done? There's days where I'm just like, oh, this company, this agency, oh. But you know what? Every job has that, right?
Yes.
What employee can say that their company is perfect 100% of the
Of
time?
course not. Yeah.
But when that
Yeah.
anger bubbled up initially, when I first came back, I will say most of it subsided because my supervisors were still there and they were just so
Mm.
loving and compassionate towards me. And like, we have you back. And it was just like, we're
Oh,
still kind of remote, but when we met in person, I got to hug them for the first time in
yes.
3 years. I mean,
Oh,
and I got to have those coworkers back that were still there. And it was like kind of getting your family back together
yes.
after that separation. And a lot of them were like, I can't believe they ever terminated you. It was so stupid that we all had to go through this. Now, the ones that stayed, I would say 90% of them were voluntarily for
Mm,
the vaccinations. About 10% were forced into it. And I grieved with them for that force, you
sure.
know, because I get it. You're the sole breadwinner. You have to do what's best for you and your family in that
Mhm.
moment. Not everybody had the support and the chance to do what I did,
Right.
you know? And so since being back, I would say I've had exponential personal growth, not just, again, I'm a good employee. I do my job really well. I
Yeah.
enjoy what I do, but my personal growth has just been off the charts because of me opening myself up to lean into what's difficult, to going back into that, to grow past it and know that that one
Mhm.
moment doesn't define who I am, but it helped boost me into who I am
Yes.
now.
Incredible. And now you help support others in this work. And
Yes.
that's the beauty of the full circle is that I think we have to experience these really hard things so that we can learn the lessons that we're meant to learn on our journey and then eventually help that person behind you or
Yes.
help pull them or
Yes.
give them a light on their way because I think we all need that support in one way or another
Yes.
and
Yes.
pretty
100%.
awesome.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you work full time as a case manager and then you also have your business as a nurse
Yes.
coach?
Yep. So I work anywhere from 40 to 50 hours a week. Shh, don't tell the
Mm.
boss. She knows. She knows we always work
No,
over.
naughty, naughty. You need to not be working beyond your
Like,
paid hours. I'll help
no,
you put up those
no,
boundaries.
absolutely. Like, I mean, that's the nice thing about this job. It's like if you have like a really heavy week, she knows that you
Can
can
kind of
go
flex.
from like if I skip my lunch break 2 or 3 days in a row, she's like, no, make sure you take your lunch break. She's so
Good.
kind of compassionate and
Good.
supportive. And honestly, having them in my corner now has been just beautiful. So I work with that. And then with coaching, yes, on the side, I actually developed curriculum for mindfulness and
Mm.
meditation to teach
Ooh,
others how to incorporate it into daily life, starting with just kind of the basics of what it is, what it feels like, and then all the way up into active application for anxiety, relationships, your
Yes.
employment, because how many times have you ever been at your job and your head is about to pop? 14 things are going
Mm-hmm.
on, and you got someone screaming at you because, Mr. Bob over there was supposed to get 14 meals a week, but he's only getting 3, and
No.
his aide didn't show up. Or if you're in the hospital, the alarm bells are ringing on the IV pole, and this doctor just told you to do something, and you're just like, that's not right for my patient. And I
Right.
have to go back and challenge this doctor, or the doctor ringed you out for the other nurse's job, or some aide didn't change the person, you got a code brown up to your eyeballs,
I love those code browns.
and you're like this close to popping. You're like, I
Isn't
gotta go
it?
hide in the med room right now before I
Yes.
lose my. But it teaches you how to, even if you have to go hide in the bathroom, how to
Yes.
rapidly calm yourself back down, come back to baseline, how to get back to you, how to, the overstimulation happens to
Mm-hmm.
everybody, but how
Mm-hmm.
to ground yourself in those moments when you're ready to cry, when you're ready to scream, but you can breathe through it and you can still cry and you can still feel the anger, but you can move it through your body in a healthier, safer way where it doesn't negatively impact you. I
Absolutely.
lost my health due to stress and burnout. I was severe adrenal fatigue. I almost didn't
Mm-hmm.
graduate nursing school because of it. I had been living in a state of fight or flight with my ex for forever. The abuse was just bad. And now it's just like, I know if I have a really high stress day, the next day I'm going to be low. So I
Yeah.
give a little more loving compassion to myself and
Good.
kindness. And so that mindfulness and that meditation is so just so key for healthy
It
living,
is. It
you
is. And
know?
it's been a huge part of my healing journey too. I teach mindfulness to some nurses in the hospital. And
Uh-huh.
I just love, I feel like I'm planting seeds. I don't feel like
Yeah.
a lot of them will take it right away, but it's
No,
that
it does take a
maybe
bit.
when I'm super stressed because I've got, my 5 patients are, it's all going to, in a handbasket. But I can hide in the bathroom. And Jen told me to
Yeah.
take 5 deep breaths
Yes,
and
exactly.
then see where I'm at. And so I'm
Yes.
hoping, and I love that you've got a course for this. I'm super curious to learn more about it because I think it is so needed. But it is hard to get people to like try it. But I'm like, I
Yeah.
promise if you could just do 1 to 2 minutes of some deep breathing,
Yes.
it will help
Well,
reframe where you're at.
yeah, I can explain why it feels so bad. So
Mm-hmm.
in our today's age with technology, we're always busy. Our brains and our
Mm-hmm.
neurons are always firing. We are rapid pace information coming into us, and we're not designed for that.
Right.
If you go back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 100 years, 200 years, we were designed to have lulls in our day. Our brains were designed to have that rest.
Right.
So when you tell yourself to sit and rest, what do you want to do? You want to jump out of your skin.
Yeah.
Scream, you want to fidget, you want to just be like,
Pick up
I
my
can't
phone.
sit. Yes, yes. Where's my phone? My brain's gonna be busy because our brains get addicted to that constant
Yeah.
stimulation. So when we stop, it actually triggers an anxiety reaction. Why am I
Hmm.
not going? Why am I not doing? So I'll be honest with you. So when I was in the height of adrenal fatigue, I couldn't sleep.
Mm.
My body would literally vibrate. Like I would have I would have this low grade shakes, but it wasn't
Yeah.
anything more than high anxiety, adrenaline coursing in my veins. So the first time I had a recorded mindfulness,
Hmm.
I laid in bed, I literally wanted to scream. So I did.
Yeah.
I screamed in the middle of it because it felt bad. It felt wrong. My body almost hurt from laying
Yeah.
still. And then I was just like, what is wrong with me? So then I thought, okay, I'll just practice it for a little bit each day. So it was like
Okay.
a minute, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay, there's a couple of days where I couldn't even do it because it just felt bad. But
Yeah.
you have to give yourself so much grace and compassion. It's not going to feel normal at first because your
Right.
body's open to it. And you just give yourself open up to that gentle process. Eventually your body will crave that quiet, that calm,
Yes.
that need for that deep breath, the double breath in to rapidly reduce your anxiety, the the box breaths where you breathe in, you hold it, breathe out, hold it, and then go back to it 3 in a row. And it helps decompress the brain. And you can feel
Yeah.
your body actively calm down. So I had a client who said, I have ADHD. I can't sit still ever. I cannot do mindfulness. And I said, well, would you be willing to try? And she said, I think I could give it a go. So I actually wrote her out a script. And in
Yes.
her script, I had her tap her foot to the
Okay.
count of 4 when she's breathing in. Tap her foot to the count of 4 when
Yeah.
she's breathing in. And I recorded it. So I did a session with her, and she said, that felt so good. I felt so.
Yeah.
So I sent it to her in a recording. A week later, I'm practicing every day. I tap my foot and I can still be active. And so then I
Yes.
practice with her tapping your foot less, grounding your feet, but doing sensations like you do like a body scan and like feeling your toes move and retract and then just let them be still. And she was able to go from I can't do this to holy crap, I just feel amazing.
Oh, I
And
love it.
it's just amazing how you can just open to the possibility and
Yes.
anything is possible.
Yes. And that's what I always encourage people. It's like, you don't have to sit still for 30 minutes, an
Oh,
hour, 2 hours to do a meditation. And like that, I don't do that. I meditate for 5 to 10 minutes a day. And
yeah.
sometimes it is tapping. I love tapping
Yes.
because it's
Yes, the
active.
tapping. Yes.
And
Yes.
but I love that you said you learn to crave it, because I do like finding
Yes.
that 5-10 minutes where I do just sit still.
Yes.
And I mean, it's taken me a year of consistent meditation to
Yes.
really love it, like to like genuinely appreciate it. But
Yes.
that didn't come
Yes.
naturally at first. Like
No,
you
it's
said, you've got to give yourself
yeah.
that grace. Is that when your
Well, I
squirrel
mean,
brain like pops in and you're like,
right.
ah.
When you're a nurse, do we know how to do IV straight out the gate?
No.
How many veins did you blow your first time?
Right, right.
Did you ever have the geyser? You pull the thing,
Ah, yes. Stop.
and it's just like you don't learn things like hands-on skills in our
Right.
careers overnight. And we need to understand that with our health, learning a new health skill won't come
It
overnight.
takes
Now, I will tell you
time.
though,
Yeah.
being able to do a deep meditation and give yourself that 30 minutes to an hour for meditation is literally like going to the massage
Yes.
and getting a body massage for 60 minutes. Like you wake
Yes.
up feeling like you just had a full body relaxation.
100%.
And
Oh,
that
I love
like is
that.
saved for like special occasions when you know you've got the downtime. So
Yes.
don't get me wrong, there are special occasions for that too.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Now I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but
Yeah,
would you be open to leading me through a brief practice that you can give as an
sure.
example to anybody who's listening?
Sure,
Cool.
absolutely.
Cool.
So go ahead. So make sure you're in a comfy spot. And anybody who's listening, please make sure you're in a safe place where you're not going to hurt yourself if you get too relaxed and fall over. So a lot of
Well,
people
this is gonna be
choose
good.
sit. You can put your hands on your desk. Some people like to choose to put their hand on their heart or their stomach, just to kind of help you just feel your breath come in and out, whatever feels good to you. So you find your chair, sit with your hand on your back, kind of let your breath come to you naturally. As you can see, Jen's already closed her eyes. So that just find yourself in this nice state and you just let your breath come to you. You don't have to do anything, just be breathing at this moment. And as you let your breath come to you, let your body just sink into your safe place and just feel your breath in and out. And as you do this, let your mind clear. Thoughts might still come to you, but go ahead and just let them pass through. All you're going to do is just focus on feeling your chest rise and fall. Now, as I guide you with some deep breaths, you will do as feels good to your body. You don't want to feel uncomfortable in the situation. So you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. I'll give the cues and you breathe according to your bodily needs. So go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it and breathe out. Go ahead and you're ready. Take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it and then breathe out. Now, as you're breathing, you may have a lot of stress in your day. You may have some negativity that's come your way today. I want you on your next breath in to breathe in with a feeling of positivity and happiness, and just knowing that you are fully capable of whatever's coming your way today, and that these stressors are just like little waves crashing on the shore. They come and they go. Breathing in and breathing out. You're going to breathe in that feeling of you've got this and you are enough. And you're going to breathe out any thoughts or negativity that's popping into your mind. And go ahead and take another deep breath in and hold it and breathe out. And one more deep breath in and hold it and breathe out. As you come to the end of this mindfulness, just let your breath come back to you normally. Feel your feet flat on the floor. Feel your body firm in your seat, your hand on your chest. And just know that today is going to be a great day. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
That was lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I appreciate you jumping in and doing that because I love
Yeah.
these tangible practices, and it's such a great demonstration that within 2 to maybe 3 minutes, we weren't down that long. It can really, trigger that physiological response in your body that that, like you said, that fight or flight where we're like,
Yeah.
in just a couple minutes, you can start to bring your breathing down, bring your heart rate down, lower your stress. And it's just so nice. I love it.
And if you don't have 2 to 3 minutes, do you know the double breath technique where you breathe in twice?
Yeah, show them that one because I love this one.
Breathe in twice. So you take one breath and then a rapid second breath. So you go and then hold it and then let it out. And that is like that.
So when you do it, I noticed you actually breathe. Did you breathe in through your mouth?
I did. That second one? I find I get bigger air breaths that way. I actually suffer from an anxiety disorder. I've had panic attacks since I was 17 years old.
Oh my goodness.
So going into my senior year of high school was the game changer. So into adulthood and growing through my life and my changes, I've had to learn a lot of different techniques for grounding quickly, rapidly. And if you're sitting at the desk and you start to feel the anger bubble, or you're at the nurse's station, or you're walking down the hallways, or wherever you find yourself, and something is so overwhelming, like you just have to get off the phone, even if you're on the phone with somebody or in person with somebody, you can do a quiet in through your nose and then just, and it's easy. Somebody might think, oh, that was an odd breath, but they don't need to know you're just regulating yourself quite quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
So if I'm by myself, I'll do through the mouth that way because I get lots more oxygen a lot more rapidly.
Yeah. But, and I think about that, like when we are sometimes in the height of like a sob, like I'm thinking like when you're just sobbing and you're like, like naturally, I think your body is trying to like force that. They're trying to force you to calm down. 100%. And but you like gasp like those breaths sometimes when you're really upset. So I like that you did that intentionally because I believe it's called the physiological sigh is kind of the breath work name of it, but the double inhale, long exhale. But I've always done it through the nose, but I think the mouth inhale would be a little bit faster actually to trigger that.
The nose inhale, like if I'm like in a deep meditation and I want to like increase my level of where I am with my mindfulness, I'll do through the nose. But if I'm like, I need a rapid calm down, I've got like my head is literally about to pop. Like I said, if you have ADHD, you understand that stimulation is just growing and you feel like your head's getting bigger and bigger and you're about to literally lose everything. That double breath through the mouth just helps you just kind of go, okay, and then just kind of like the balloon's about to pop, but you bring it back down to normal size.
Good. Ooh, good tangible tips. Thank you. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as in our last few minutes together, time is just flying by. I love it. I would love to hear if you have a couple last tips or any suggestions of, and most of my audience is nurses, but there's definitely lots of people who listen that are not nurses. Do you have any additional thoughts or suggestions that you've learned along your journey that you'd love to share?
Just start. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait till you have someone who can teach you. I mean, that's always great. Like hire a nurse coach. That's always the best option. But we are here to support you. But seriously though, like a lot of people think I have to do X, Y, and Z before I can do anything for myself. No, just dive in because there will always be a better excuse. There will always be a better reason to wait. And if you're curious, just Google what's the best way to do mindfulness, or go on YouTube and just play some quiet music in the background for 5 minutes. Put your earbuds in and just take 5 minutes just to be with yourself. You don't have to do deep breathing. You don't have to do all these things. Hide in your office supply closet. Hide in the bathroom. you don't have to hide. Sit at your desk and just put up a do not disturb sign on your back, like whatever you do, just start today. Just do something for you today. Don't wait until everything is perfect, because it will not be perfect.
Never. Oh, that is this perfect sentiment, because we hold ourselves up and back from a lot of things, waiting for that perfect moment. And
I'm going to start mindfulness tomorrow. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. I'm just going to do it later today. No, just take 2 seconds right now. Just breathe. Just put your hands on your desk and just feel how the wood feels. It's with you wherever you go. You don't have to close your eyes, sitting in the chair, walking down the sidewalk, you're taking your dog for a walk. Just think about the steps, your foot striking the ground. Think about how the leash feels in your hand. It's just being present in that moment.
Yes. Perfect. Well, I think that is a great place to end today. Thank you so much, Janine. It's been awesome chatting with you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.